I wanted to kind of backtrack a little bit and explain the reason why we're here and what happened. You demoed the Vitamix for 10 years. I demoed for 10 years. What's kind of the classic experience? Someone watches you demo, they get all pumped up, then they get home, and then what happens?
Nothing works like they saw.
Right. And what, yeah. And so what happens? Yeah.
Well, they get home, they put it in wrong, they don't have anything to put it in. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. They don't have the right ingredients.
Right. And so it's just their first blending experience is bad.
It's bad. So this is why we're here. We're here to help you, to coach you on some of the simple things you can do when you first get your Vitamix home, or some of you guys have had it for 10 years and only made smoothies. So we're going to teach you how to diversify a little bit.
Right.
Make some soups, make some sorbet. One thing that I want to show on this clip here is how to chop and dice. This is something that people don't really use their Vitamix for.
Or don't think it can.
Yeah, it's a food processor. So let's give me a carrot.
Okay.
Just give me a couple of carrots, just some small carrots there. Cool.
Okay.
That's perfect. Now, if I'm making, let's say I'm making a salsa, then you do want to get rid of the little bits and pieces that you wouldn't normally eat because we're not liquefying this. But if I was going to make a soup, it wouldn't matter if I had some stems and seeds and stuff in it, right? So here's what we do. Go to variable speed 1. So the lower the number, the thicker the chop. So on 1, we can do, coarser pieces. And then as you run that dial up, it's just going to get finer and finer.
Now, one thing that you'll notice when you start doing this at home is you don't have to really worry about over processing it. Because once it gets a certain size, it'll just start to stir in there. So the only way to really get it finer is to turn it up to a higher speed.
Exactly.
So with a blender or a food processor, the longer you let it run, the finer it gets. This is controlled more here because it's a blunt blade.
Also, if you're doing, we only did 2 carrots. If you want to do the full thing, it's not going to circulate, so you don't want to add water. And you could go online to Vitamix.com or something like that. You can see how basically you're just adding water. They call it the wet chop. This is the dry chop. Question I get is, how do you get it out of there? And really the best way, these are durable containers. I just turn it upside down on the counter, and then you got,
show them that.
Yeah, and then you got that pretty much cleaned out.
Easy.
All right.
Yep.
And then you can wrap this up
I'm gonna do
for a vegetarian burrito.
Oh yeah.
Dumb joke. All right.
Been using that for 10 years. I can tell. Anyway, even if you make a lot, I just do a couple dry batches. And you know, the wet chopping is really good for like coleslaw.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
And with the wet chop, you have to strain it and things like that. So just make a couple batches. It takes 4 or 5 seconds. Dump it out. And this is how you're gonna make salsa. You're gonna do any of your chopping and dicing. I've done. What else have I done this way? I've even like chopping and dicing grains to where you get it coarse.
Yeah, I was gonna say flour or sugar into powdered sugar. If you're baking, you need a little bit of.
So that's your variable speed, and that's some quick
graham
tips.
cracker crust.
Yeah,
crackers
really
and
good.
a little sugar.
So there's some quick tips on how to process like a pro.
And just those tips alone will get you on the right track. There's more to it, and you'll learn as you go. But just knowing that, you'll have a lot more success.
Thanks for joining, guys.
Blend it up, blending principles.